Morning, folks. It is day 2 and I am back on trail and I am off to an early start. I got out of camp around 7 a.m. because I have some decent miles to hike today, around 11 or 12 to Elk Cove. And so far, it is up. It's beautiful, again, hiking in this beautiful forest, but it is up so far. But FOMO is already kicking in, wanting to get to Elk Cove as early as I can, hopefully around 2 o'clock. There's another trailhead that comes in there, so I believe it is a popular area, has great views of Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier, so hoping to find a good camp spot. So let me stop talking and let's get to hiking. The day has started off in kind of a fog. As you can see, but it's supposed to be decent weather today, probably my last really good day of weather. Forecast said it was going to be partly cloudy, partly sunshine, so hoping to still have some clear views of Mount Hood and the surrounding mountains. That would be great. But it woke up, it feels humid almost. There's dew on the ground. Very much like East Coast hiking here, but it is a beautiful, beautiful forest, and I'm still climbing. A lot of blowdowns in this section. About 2 miles in, and luckily they're like this though, where I can just kind of make my way underneath. But there have been some where I'm crawling under, stepping over. But yeah, I can imagine the storm that knocked down these big old trees. Well, I think I'm finally leaving those blowdowns. So if yesterday's hike was a stroll, today's hike is an adventure. Hiking through these bushes where, all this dew, it's causing me to be soaking wet. Ooh, that probably lasted at least a mile, I think close to 2 miles, where you're just up and over trees, stepping around, rocks and fallen trees. But it looks like the trail is clearing up. In terms of the blowdowns, the weather, I can see some blue skies, but that fog is still hanging around. I think I might be making my way down to the river here in a bit, but yeah, it's been quite an adventure this morning. I guess this is where we cross. That creek crossing was a little more sketch than I originally had thought. That log was not as stable, so it's glad to have my trekking pole. Always gives me a little balance. I just passed some ladies and they told me that, oh, sorry about the view. There's supposed to be a magnificent view of Mount Hood. I was like, really? She's like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. She said, just sit there and imagine that Mount Hood is just towering in the background. And actually, I've seen glimpses of something as the fog is still kind of rising out. So I think I'm getting my hopes up that maybe this might blow out, but I don't know, it's pretty thick so far. Mount Hood is beginning to reveal itself. How about that? Just a little patience. That little blue sky gap, that's beautiful. That is pretty cool. Just as quickly as it comes, it then goes away. Thank you, Lord, for that little blessing. Well, I'm thankful for that little glimpse of Mount Hood. And then I started talking to a few more ladies that were passing by. Sure enough, got another little glimpse of her. So, little blessings. Finally, some blue skies. Hopefully there's more of that to come. Oh, and a little peak. Mount Hood. Blue skies. Oh, those clouds will just clear out a little bit. I thought this was a good spot for second breakfast this morning. I finally found it clearing out of the trees. There's blue skies down in the valley. It is nice and clear. And right in front of me is Mount Hood. And she's been trying to peek out from time to time. So I'm going to sit here a little bit, have my oatmeal, and hopefully get a glimpse or two of a Mount Hood while I'm sitting here. There we go. Nice good picture of Mount Hood today. You know, I'm kind of appreciating today. Yesterday I had those bluebird skies with Mount Hood, and those are spectacular. But today, I think I'm getting some unique shots that you normally don't get, that weather sometimes can create for you. Just these unique perspectives, like the clouds rolling by and underneath Mount Hood. I'm hoping some of those come out, because it was just sitting there. It was pretty special. Looks like we have another view of Mount Hood. These clouds are beginning to fade away. That's a pretty good shot. Nice blue skies behind it. That is beautiful. Wow. Good enough for trekking poles. This is the first grove of dead trees I've seen on this trip, and I'm guessing it's from a fire, but it's weird. They're kind of a ghostly white. Interesting. It's the whole mountainside of them. Well, it has turned out to be a beautiful day this early afternoon. The clouds have cleared up over Mount Hood. Excellent views there. Even these open views of the other mountain peaks has cleared up. You can see the landscape a little bit. Still some low lingering clouds over there by Adams, Rainier, and St. Helens, but yeah, I'm probably 10.5 miles in, so probably about a mile, maybe a little more. I think I'm about to come into Elk Cove, and I'm just gonna be looking for a good camp spot. Campsites. Whew. I'll tell you, I've been looking. I sure haven't seen any, but they say they're down this way. Hopefully there's some hammock ones. I think I have found camp. I'll tell you, it's hard to find a campsite, but it's got some good shade, some good live trees that I can hang from, and got the view. All right, change of plans, good change of plans. So I was coming down here to the creek to get water, and I saw this campsite here. I'm like, that's not good for camping, but I didn't really notice the grove of trees. Not grove, but a few of them. And I was like, you know what? Let me go check that out. So I take a little peek back in here. And I was like, oh yeah, this will work. Shade, good live trees. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. just nice. Yeah, what a nice campsite. So I ran back to the other campsite because all I had was the stuff to fill up my water. So I ran back to the other campsite. You know, FOMO's kicking in strong now that somebody's gonna take this while I'm gone. I run back, get my backpack, get my chair, and hurry up over here. And yeah, yeah, this is gonna work out really well. And still, I've got my view. You know, when it comes sunset time, I just come out here and take a gander. But I really love, you know, being close to the creek. So this is kind of the trifecta for me. If I can get a view, and I can be close to water, and I can have shady trees, that's a good campsite. Camp is set up. Got the Dutch banyan hung with the hammock gear underquilt, and I really like that underquilt. It worked out really well last night, kept me warm, so I might start using the underquilt rather than the sleeping pad. It just gives me more coverage for warmth. And as you can tell, it's a bit windy. So I have the tarp pitched back just halfway, and that gives me good access to my hammock, gives me good access to my hammock sling. So pretty good campsite, I really like it. But the wind, you know, so I checked the forecast, and how I do that on trail is I use my Garmin inReach. You can request a forecast at your location. And it talked about how windy it was going to be this afternoon. So it's 4:30 right now, and it's supposed to be windy all the way up until 8 p.m. But that's how I check the weather when I'm out here. Again, I use the Garmin InReach. It's fairly accurate. You know, take it for what it's worth. It's just a guide. So we'll see how well that works out tomorrow. Well, I think that's going to do it for day 2. I've gotten all cleaned up, got a fresh set of clothes on, and I'm just sitting here at my camp, just enjoying this sun. It's only 59 degrees, but that wind blowing, man, it feels much colder than that. It's probably 20, 30 mile an hour gusts going on. But yeah, just sitting here enjoying my evening here at my camp with this amazing view. It's awesome. And day 2, you know, day 2 was a good day. It started off hiking in the clouds, of fog, and all the blowdowns, and I was soaking wet this morning, really, just from all the dew of hiking through those blowdowns. But then once I crossed that creek and I started heading towards Bald Mountain, I was in this beautiful thick forest, and man, that was awesome. I just love these forests here in the Pacific Northwest. At least here in Oregon, they are special. And then, you know, I was getting peaks of Mount Hood, and I was like, all right, I guess that's what I'm going to get today. But around noon, 1 o'clock, it really cleared up. You know, the clouds went away, and had some excellent views of Mount Hood coming in as we were hiking into Elk Cove. And it really turned out to be a beautiful day. And I'm fortunate here for this campsite, you know, got the view, got the water, and it's just really, really great. Right now, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the sun going down over the mountains. I hope to get some shots as the sun is setting on Mount Hood, and just enjoying my campsite. All right, folks, I will see you in the morning. I'm like only 2 miles from my